right, well, Nanny, thanks for agreeing to do this. I'm very excited to talk to you about some fun questions. I know you've got some cool stories to share with everyone, and just excited to hear them again, and then maybe find some new stuff. Maybe, who knows? Today we're going to kind of talk about relationships and how you met my granddad, and dating, marriage, things like that. So, first off, how did you meet Granddaddy?
I met him in the neighbor's house. He was a brother to the man that lived in that house, and they invited me over to be with them and have fun with them. And his brother's wife played the piano, and she would play songs that we knew, and we would stand by the piano and sing those songs. And this is where I first met him.
Mm-hmm. And they invited you because?
Well, they knew we were close to the same age.
Uh-huh.
He was 4 years older than me, but that didn't matter back then.
Were you saying that your sister lived next door to him?
That's right.
Okay.
And I lived with her.
Okay.
And was working on the base. I had just started work out there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and then about what year was that? Do you remember?
That was probably in 1941.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
And so, who was talkative first? Who sort of hit it off first, you or Granddaddy?
I'm not real sure because we were both singing, with the group there and laughing and having a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
And how long was it before he officially asked you on a date?
I think he asked me that night.
So there was just an instant spark.
Right. Right.
For people who are looking to date or start dating, what advice would you give to a person who's looking to date someone?
Well, just be yourself and enjoy it and have a good time.
Okay, like that. Be yourself. So, how long was it between dating and engagement?
Probably 6 months.
Okay, 6 months. And how did he ask? How did Granddaddy pop the question?
I'm not really sure what he said or when or where, but it might have been, we started going next door a lot because she could play the piano and then we could enjoy that, So it could have been over there.
Gotcha. And then what was, this is kind of a fun question, what was your relationship with your in-laws like? In other words, did y'all get along?
We got along fine, sure did.
Good deal. Like you said, you can get along with anybody, right? So,
right.
And then about the wedding, where was it? Who was in it?
His brother and his brother's wife and Bob and I, and we got married in Jeffersonville at the preacher's home. I knew them, so it was a war going on. There was not many big weddings at that time. People got married. It was just something like what we did at the preacher's house.
Mm-hmm. You said that probably would have been 1943?
Yeah, it was
thereabouts.
1943 that we got married in November.
Okay. And then you said, so where did y'all live immediately after that?
He was a farmer, and he owned about a 500 acre farm in Twiggs County. and that's where he lived, and his mother lived with him, so that's where I live.
Okay. And y'all were married over 50 years. Were you saying maybe closer to 60?
I think it would be close to 60.
Yeah. So that's a good long while. So
It's a good long while.
what advice would you give people who are getting married or looking to get married for helping to make a marriage last?
Well, just a woman, I don't think should boss the family. I think that should be up to the husband to be the head of the family, and you need to listen to his needs and wants and ambitions. Talk it over with him.
Okay. Well, that's good. Anything else?
There was a war going on at that time.
Hmm.
Yeah, and my husband actually got drafted, and he went to Atlanta and went through the examinations, and he was accepted. And we figured we'd have a few days together before he actually went into the army. But in a few days, he got notice that the United States government had rather he would farm. They needed farmers more than they did soldiers at that time.
Wow. So I don't think I realized that about that story. I knew that they had decided for him not to be a soldier, but I didn't realize that he was basically ready to go off and leave.
Yeah, it would have been a few days.
Basically prepared to just go off,
Right.
and then they said last minute, hey, you don't need to. We'd rather you farm for the
That's
war
right.
effort.
That's right.
Okay.
And they needed farmers more than they needed soldiers at that time.
Wow. What must have been going through your mind thinking that, wow, he's about to leave?
Well, there were so many folks that went through that, and his brother that went with us to get married, he was in the army
Mm-hmm.
at that time, but he was stationed at what they call Cochran Field,
Mm-hmm.
and so he lived close by.
Close by, yeah. Wow. I was going to say, for next time, would you like to discuss the Great Depression and your family's experience in that, or World War II?
Well, I just don't think I remember too much about the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
I was very young,
Right.
and my daddy always took good care of us, even though things were hard to get back then. And he built our home in Jeffersonville on 2 acres,
Mm-hmm.
and he had the back acre was in a beautiful garden, a large garden,
Mm-hmm.
and he grew just about everything we would eat. He had fruit trees and grapes and grapevines, and had apple trees, pear trees, peach trees,
Wow.
just anything for our food back then.
Right. As I say, it sounds like you ate a lot out of your own garden.
I
back
did.
then, yeah.
Of course, he had to buy the meat, and my mother, we lived in Jeffersonville, and about a mile from the town part, and she would do what I do today. She would call, we had a phone, and she would call the grocery store she did business with and order her groceries over the phone, and in a little while they would deliver it. So, and the same thing, we didn't have many electrical appliances, and of course we didn't have TV till my children got up around 12 years old, and we listened to the radio a lot, and they had cowboy programs and things like that children could enjoy, you know.
Right.
So, and my sister and I went to a church there in Jeffersonville, and we walked. We didn't have a car when we first moved in that house. That came a little bit later, and we walked 1.25 miles to Sunday school and church every Sunday.
Gotcha. It seemed on rainy days you'd need an umbrella for sure, right?
That's for sure, or else we didn't go.
Right, yeah. Okay, well, trying to think, anything else about that time period?
Well, we could walk to school. It was just that close, about a block away. And we enjoyed that. She was 3.5 years older than me. So I guess she kind of looked after me.
Right. Okay. Well, that is all the questions I had about that particular subject. But I look forward to talking to you about more stuff in the future.
Okay, we'll talk about the base and World War II and things like that.
Yeah, would love to. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.